Whether you've decided to postpone your wedding or you're planning your wedding for later this year or next, you may still want to get married now or celebrate what would have been your original wedding date. If so, that means you're looking to create an elopement or virtual wedding. And even though that's not maybe the original plan, you still want it to be special, and it should be. Today, I'm going to be walking you through how to make your virtual wedding special. And this is going to be the first in a series all about virtual weddings. Hi there, I'm Jamie Chang, your destination wedding planning guru and designer of joy at Mango Muse Events and the creator of Passport to Joy, the step-by-step online wedding planning course for couples. And I share real and honest and useful wedding planning tips, tricks, and advice you can use to help make planning your wedding easier and more joyful, so you can create a wedding you love. Because let's face it, wedding planning isn't always happy. It can be super duper stressful, especially now. And nobody wants that. So we're bringing the joy back to wedding planning. Are you ready? All right, let's do this. Now, here's the truth of our current situation. And the truth is that weddings will not be kind of normal for kind of a while. There will be social distancing, there will be masks, there will be limits on groups until we basically have a vaccine. Which means that, if you want to get married now, or celebrate what would have been your original wedding date, then you're looking to create a virtual wedding or a virtual elopement. And even though that's sort of not, the original plan, perhaps, of what you were thinking about, you still want it to be special. And it should be thoughtful, and it should be special. But how do you make that happen? This is going to be the first video in a series to help you create your virtual weddings and make it special, make it thoughtful, make it meaningful, because it should be and it can be. So you want to make sure you subscribe below in order to make sure you get all the videos, because you want to make sure you get all of them. It's going to be fun. Okay, today we are going to be talking specifically about your ceremony. Now, no matter what kind of wedding you're having, your ceremony is the most important part of your wedding. It is the most important, hands down, easily. And because it's such a special moment, it's sort of the time when you're actually sharing your love for each other. It's when you're sharing your commitment to each other. This is just what matters most. And it matters most in any wedding, anywhere, whether it's virtual or not. So you really want to take a lot of care with your ceremony and be thoughtful in your decisions, because that's how you make it special. That's how you make it yours. And these ideas will help you no matter what kind of ceremony you're planning. Once again, virtual or not. But let's start off with sort of the nitty-gritty of the virtual, and then we'll get into the fun stuff, okay? So first, let's talk about sort of the elephant in the room, if you will, the question that's likely on your minds. And here it is. Can you get legally married virtually? And the answer is sort of yes and no. Now, unless you got your marriage license before your lockdown occurred, it's pretty much impossible to get one now because most county offices are closed. But if you happen to live in a state that has recently made some changes, like New York, where you can get your marriage license online and they recognize online ceremonies, then, it's fantastic. You're in great luck. But the majority of states, at least as of today when we're filming this, don't have those policies in place. Side note, I do, however, think that many states will follow suit, so you want to make sure you check with your state as you're sort of going through this. But essentially what this means is unless you live in one of those states with those new policies in place, if you were to get married now, your wedding would be symbolic, not legal. Now here's the really, really, really important thing I want you to know, and that is a symbolic wedding is not any less meaningful if it's not legal. I'm going to say that one more time. A symbolic wedding is not any less meaningful if it's not legal. Because you're still committing yourselves to each other. You're still sharing your love in front of the people that you love. That experience, that moment, those emotions are all completely and utterly real. They're real. And so that wedding is still very real. You may not be legal from a, say, tax or benefits standpoint. You may not be technically married in the legal sense, but it still means something. So, can you get married? Yes, definitely. Can you be legally married? It really just depends on your state. But either way, a virtual wedding will still be completely and utterly meaningful and real. So let's talk about a few ideas to help make it special. So first, I think, and I should also mention, sorry, before I dive into the first, that these ideas will also very much work for a normal ceremony. You should think about these things as well when you're creating that ceremony, whether it's virtual or not. Okay? All right, so let's dive into number one. First, I think if there was ever a time to write personal vows, this is it. Your ceremony will likely be sort of on the shorter end. And that's okay. That's kind of part of what will happen in a virtual ceremony because it can't be super long in theory just because people won't have the attention spans for that. But what will automatically sort of make it special are those personal vows. I highly, highly suggest that you write some. You can share how you feel, what you feel. You can share what you love about your partner. You can share what you promise and what you look forward to. These will mean just so much to your partner. They will mean so much coming from you, and it will make your ceremony just something really special to witness from your guest perspective. Personal vows mean a lot because they come straight from the heart, right? Literally, heart to, paper to saying them out loud. And that means a lot. And what you say is what makes it special, is what makes it yours. So I highly recommend you consider personal vows. Okay, next up, even though you're having a virtual wedding, you can still include your guests. They might be remote, but that doesn't mean that they can't be a part of it too, besides just a spectator. You can have someone read a poem or share a story or maybe a photo. There are lots of fun and creative ways to get your guests involved, to make your ceremony interactive. And that's kind of fun, if I'm going to be very honest. That's what makes ceremonies really fun for both of you, right? And when I say both of you, I mean both you as the couple, but also you, the guest, right? It's just more fun when you're a part of it. So do a little brainstorming and think about what would be fun and enjoyable for you guys. And I promise you, it'll make it just way more interesting for your guests and also get them involved and active in your ceremony, and it'll be more fun for you too. Okay, let's move on to the next idea. And this is really just about choosing your officiant wisely, because your officiant will also help make your ceremony special. You want to choose somebody who's a good speaker and can help not only officiate that ceremony, but also just take care of your guests as well. Virtual weddings are a little more complicated in some ways because people need to know what they're supposed to be doing. It's not as straightforward as sort of pick a seat and sit there. There's just a little more involved. And so you need an officiant that can really sort of cater to, once again, both you and your guests and just make sure things can go smoothly and be flexible with sort of little hiccups here and there. So you don't have to choose a professional. You certainly can, and they will likely be very good at handling those kinds of things, but it doesn't have to be. You could definitely talk to a friend or a family member and see if they would marry you, but just make sure whomever you choose is like the right fit for your wedding, because once again, who that person is and their personality and their energy is going to add to that ceremony and make it feel a certain way, and you want that way, that feeling, to be the right feeling for you and your wedding, and that's what, once again, helps make it special. Now, of course, if you're getting legally married, you also want to make sure you pick an officiant that can legally marry you. So keep that in mind too. Okay, next idea. This is sort of my favorite, honestly. I love them all. I mean, they all help make a ceremony really special, but this is maybe my favorite. And it's really the simple idea of have fun with it. Have fun with how you construct your ceremony. You know, perhaps maybe more so than any other ceremony, you really have the flexibility to do whatever you want. You know, you're not having a traditional wedding here. A virtual wedding is obviously not very traditional. So, you know, embrace the alternative. Have fun with it. You know, think about, are you walking in and out like a processional and recessional? If so, how do you want to do it? Maybe you want to dance. Maybe you want to skip. Maybe you want to come in together. Maybe you want to hop in and then say hello to everyone and then begin. You can really do whatever you want, which leads me to, how do you want the actual ceremony to be? You know, do you want it to be serious or lighthearted, romantic, sentimental, or maybe just a little off the wall? You know, you have the ability to go a little weird and be a little kooky and be totally and utterly yourselves. This is your chance, honestly, because the beauty of it is you can do whatever you want. It's a super non-traditional wedding, so go for it. See what you think would be fun, or what you think you'd enjoy, or what your guests would enjoy, and just go for it. Why not? It's a chance just to do what you want to do. And not that you can't in a normal ceremony, but there's a little more tradition around that, right? This could be your chance to do something really fun. Go for it. Because your ceremony is important, whether it's virtual or not. And it's how you share your love for each other and how you share that with your guests. And I just think it's really important that you think about it and find a way to make it yours, which is what will make it special. And with a virtual wedding, like I said before, you have a lot more leeway because it's non-traditional. So go for it. Enjoy the weirdness or the alternative idea, or do something a little different and have fun with it. Now, this is going to be a series all about virtual weddings and how to make them special. So make sure you subscribe so that you can get all our videos. And we're going to end today with a question. So here's the question. What's one thing you want to do in your virtual ceremony that's perhaps a little different? Let me know in a comment below. And if you enjoyed today's video, please like it, give us some thumbs up. We love that. You can check out our other videos for even more tips. And once again, make sure you hit subscribe so you can get all the awesome new ones, especially about this, virtual weddings. And if you want help through the entire wedding planning process, virtual wedding or not, please check out Passport to Joy, my online course for couples. You can find all the links below. Because you deserve to enjoy your engagement, no matter what your budget is, and even in the middle of a pandemic. Thanks so much for being here, and I'll see you next time. Bye!